Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm so glad that you have tuned in today. I'm your host, Lynelle Ellis, president of Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association. And on today's show, I am going to be interviewing Annette Bovent from Hope Heals. She's going to be talking with us about how her organization is helping the homeless here in the Walla Walla Valley. And I can't wait for that conversation. So be sure to stay tuned for that and for station news at the end of the program. And now let's begin with our devotional thought. Is God so amazing and His work in your life so profound that you just have to share it with someone? That's how it was for one of Jesus' first disciples. You remember Andrew. When Andrew discovered that Jesus was there and that he was, as Andrew believed, the Messiah, he just had to share it with someone else. And he ran to tell his brother Simon. As it says in John 1:41 and 42, the first thing Andrew did was to find his brother Simon and tell him, "We have found the Messiah, that is, the Christ." And he brought him to Jesus. Andrew was so thrilled with what he had discovered that he started sharing it right away, starting with his own brother. And not only was Andrew a loyal disciple, but his brother Peter went on to be a great leader in the early church and to author 2 books in the New Testament. So as Andrew reached out to Simon, who was renamed Peter, there was a ripple effect from Andrew's witness that was really, really important. We have another more recent example too. In 1931, 3 friends were taking a late night stroll down Addison's Walk near Magdalen College, Oxford, in England. And the 3 friends were J.R.R. Tolkien, Hugo Dyson, and C.S. Lewis. And as they walked, Tolkien and Dyson were sharing with Lewis the beauty of Christ's sacrifice for humans. They were expounding on and explaining the importance of Jesus in the story of humanity. Now, 2 years earlier, Lewis had become a theist. In other words, he had begun to believe in God. Previously to this, he had spent most of his life as an agnostic, and some might say even atheist. But at this point, he was now a theist, believing that God did exist, but he had not yet understood the role or the importance of Jesus. And so the arguments of Tolkien and Dyson made sense to Lewis, and soon he became a Christian. Now, Lewis said that he first started attending church only because he wanted to participate in the communion service. He thought it was important for him to follow in Jesus' steps that way. But other than that, he wasn't really interested in organized church. At first, in fact, he said he was sort of repelled by the hymns and what he called the poor quality of the sermons. Later on, though, as he grew and matured in his Christianity, he considered himself totally honored to be worshiping with people of faith, people who, in his words, quote, came in shabby clothes and work boots and who sang all the verses to all the hymns. Now think of this. Think of all the books that C.S. Lewis wrote. Of course, we think of Mere Christianity and some of the other treatises on doctrine that he wrote, and some of his fictional works like the Chronicles of Narnia. Think of the importance and influence that his works have had on both the Christian and the non-Christian culture. He was a great apologetic for the Christian faith. His writings have been very important. If Tolkien and Dyson had not shared their faith with him, not only would Lewis have missed out, but we all would have missed out on the important contributions that Lewis has made as well. Again, a powerful ripple effect. I expect that the beauty of God's love in your life is too good to keep to yourself. We have a treasure to share. We have a treasure to share with others. So let's take the opportunities that we have to share our faith. Who knows what ripple effect the sharing of the good news will have? Please stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now is Annette Bovent from Hope Heals. And Annette, it's just great to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm glad that you invited me.
So am I. So let's start by describing what this ministry is, Hope Heals. Probably a lot of our viewers aren't too familiar with it.
So Hope Heals is an organization that I started 7 years ago. And I was homeless 3 times in 12 years, and I had needs, and I wanted to provide or help provide those needs to people in our community. So I give care packages as people transition from homelessness into housing, their basic needs and above and beyond their basic needs. So I also provide backpacks downtown for homeless people that are in need of a change of clothes or toiletry items. And then I also have a clothing closet opened at the sleep center for the homeless, and I go there 2 days a week, and I provide them with clean clothes and socks and anything that they can use.
Very good. So you just said something really interesting in this introduction. You've been homeless 3 times yourself.
Yes.
So that gives you a really richer understanding of how people get in the situation and what they need when they're there.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to do this, is so that they could get their basic needs met where I didn't have mine met when I was homeless. So
yes. So understanding what the issues are. So that's also answers one of my other questions, was how you became involved. Well, you became involved from the very beginning. You started it because you sensed a need.
yes.
And you mentioned helping people when they're transitioning from being homeless to finding housing. So this ministry is really about that space right in there. You're not providing the housing yourself, right,
No.
through this organization?
No, just basic necessities to start a home: dishes, silverware, pots and pans, a laundry basket, cleaning supplies, just the basic things that they're going to need in order to start a home. I feel like once our basic needs are met, then we can work on our physical and mental health.
Yes. And so those might be then some of the reasons that they were homeless, or how they might keep from being homeless again,
Yes.
working on
Yep.
those things. Yeah. So what would you say are some of the greatest needs of the homeless in our community right now?
Warm coats.
Yes, it's winter.
Yeah, I collect a lot of donations and stuff, and people from the community donate, their used dishes and everything. And as long as it's, in good shape and still can be used, then I recycle that and put those into my care packages and stuff, because I feel like it's when we get housing and we don't have a fork and a spoon, then I feel like they would be more apt to go out and take it without permission. And that way, if I can provide that need for them, then they won't have to have that desire to go take it from somewhere.
Very good. So keeping them honest and
Yes, and
moving
accountable.
forward and
Yes.
accountable.
Yep.
Very good. So those things related to weather right now in the winter, you're saying very important.
Yeah.
Warm coats, blankets.
Blankets, warm socks, hats, gloves. Those are for like people out on the streets.
Yes.
Sleeping bags are helpful. People who are living outside. But the other items that I mentioned were like after they find housing and then they transition into housing.
And you mentioned you must have some partnerships with other organizations, because you mentioned something about the sleep center. So
Yes,
how's that partnership work?
Good. I started about 6 months ago at the sleep center, where I opened up a closet there so that I could provide them some clothes and everything. And I go 2 days a week, and I touch bases with the director and everything there and all the employees. They give me a heads up that if somebody's getting into housing soon, then I refer them back to my website, where people can apply for a care package on my website. And so we have it set up so it's really easy and convenient, and it takes about maybe 10 minutes to go through and mark the different items that they're in need of.
Mm-hmm. And do you find that they have technology available to them so that they can go to the website?
The majority of them, yes. If they don't have something, then they can go to the library, and they can sign up on a computer there for a while or borrow somebody else's phone. So we have a needs list and a want list, and I try to make sure I get everything on the needs list, but if they have a want list, then I try to get as much as I can, even if I go get donations from Sunbridge or go get donations from Yeehaw Aloha. I'm connected with almost every agency in town that works with homeless people as well.
And do you have volunteers working at your organization? Is it mostly you?
I would say it's about 90% me. I have a student right now that's been with me almost 2 years from the university, and she has helped me a lot with decluttering and organizing. And I used to just collect everything, and now she has taught me how to let go of some things that maybe sit on the shelf too long, and keep our flow of donations coming in and going out at the same time. So.
Yes, I can imagine actually that one of the big challenges is that people want to be helpful and they donate, but sometimes they donate things that you really can't use.
Yes.
So there's a process of sorting through it, I'm sure.
Yep.
Like there is at Sunbridge and other thrift stores and
Yep.
Salvation Army and all those places. Sure. So how would you say that, those of us who are watching, maybe we've never been homeless, how can we know what homeless people really need, and how can we be the most helpful?
Well, I would say the most helpful would be to donate to the organizations directly, because if you donate to the individual, then you don't know where that money's going. And I like to make sure that it goes in appropriate directions to help the individuals in need.
Yes, and you were mentioning that they actually apply to
Yes.
Hope Heals, so that makes it a more formal process, and you're able to look at each individual case, I'm sure.
Yes.
See what they need.
Yep. Each care package is individualized for whatever their needs are. And some people need a vacuum, some people need a wet mop thing, some people need a duster, and it just depends on their situation, their needs and their likes and their wants and stuff. So.
Very good. So how can people become involved? Obviously you need donations, probably both physical items and cash, but how do they get connected with you?
So I can be found on my website at hopehealsyou.com, and that's YOU.com. And or you can call me at 509-386-4277 and talk directly to me, or you can also find me on my Facebook page at Hope Heals Walla Walla.
Okay, so you're available in all of those ways. People can reach out to you, they can go to the website, kind of find out what some of your needs are.
And my story is also shared on my website, so you can hear a little bit about me and why I started Hope Heals, and just learn about what I've been able to accomplish in the last 7 years.
Yes. But it probably brings a lot of joy to you to be able to give back after going through some of those experiences yourself.
Yes. Can I share with you a little piece?
Yes, you can. Do it.
So my third time that I was homeless, I was homeless for 3 years, and with my 9-year-old son.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in an RV that I had purchased, an old RV. But anyways, we lived there for 3 years, and then my friend called me one day, and she said that you are a perfect candidate for this, and I'd like you to apply for it. And so I didn't know. I knew that I had a big dream to become a homeowner someday,
Yes.
but I didn't know how that would ever play out or anything. And so I picked up the papers at her house, and kind of a long story short, I won an interest-free loan on a brand new home 12 years ago.
Woo.
From Hayden Homes.
Yes.
Here in town.
Excellent.
And I'm still there.
Honestly, that was my next question. And you're still living there.
Yep.
That is really neat.
So I just pay back to the community I had several people surrounding me, and I would say I'm a single parent with 3 kids, so there was about 70 people who surrounded around me and my family.
Yes.
And helped make our dreams come true. And so I want other people to know that they are important and that I give them hope through Hope Heals.
Yes.
And when I got my house, my oldest son was 23 at the time, and he came and picked up his brother and sister because we pulled the RV up in front of the house, and they helped unload the RV and stuff, but we had, basic, very few items of whatever we needed in the RV. But he took the kids shopping, and when they came back, they all had bags full of supplies.
Yes.
And I was like, I want other people to feel what my son did for me.
Yes.
I want them to have hope for the future, hope for their dreams to come true and everything. And so that's why I started Hope Heals, and I named it Hope Heals because I wanted to spread the hope in our community.
Yes. And not too long ago, I was interviewing another organization on this program that was also pointing out the need for housing in our community. We actually don't have enough housing, and I'm sure the whole ministry that you're involved in is affected by that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it takes a long time to, it's a lengthy process to go through all of the applications and waiting times, and then once they do get a voucher, then the voucher, they have like 60 days or 90 days to find a place. And if they don't find it, then they lose their voucher and they start all over again.
Oh, that's
so it's
challenging.
Very difficult and very discouraging if they end up losing their voucher. So a lot of us do go out and help look for housing, keep our eyes open as we're on the streets, and try to be able to share with them where we saw someplace or something. So
Yes.
just help spread the word wherever we can.
Absolutely. And we're encouraging you, our viewers, to support and help with Hope Heals and other organizations that are working to help our community in this way. And Annette, I want to thank you so much for being my guest today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'll be right back with Station News. Time now for Station News, and right now would be a great time to grab a pen and either your paper physical calendar or your digital calendar on your phone, something so that you can note down this date, because we are having a very special event at Blue Mountain Television. It's called the Outdoor Filming Workshop, and this is taking place February 15 from 6 to 8 p.m. And I'm going to kind of read with you a description of what's happening during this workshop. It's pretty exciting. So whether you have a professional video camera, a DSLR camera, a cell phone with a video camera, or no video camera at all, this will be a wonderful outdoor filming workshop. Join us as we head out into the forest to film local musician Tim Greenlaw play his guitar and sing a beautiful song. During this 2-hour production, you will learn some fundamentals of outdoor videography and how to capture great audio. We'll also be sharing outdoor music videos performed by Fountain View Academy to express the path that Blue Mountain Television is heading towards with your support. So you can see this whole thing is going to be about how to use your tool that you have for video to create beautiful productions that happen outside. So we're wanting to give something back to you in the way of a little bit of instruction online here between 6 and 8 p.m. And we're also going to be working toward raising funds for better cameras for Blue Mountain Television to use out in the field. And we're going to be able to share this footage from the Fountain View Academy, and they've become quite experts at going out and filming, by the way. So I think that this is just going to be a fantastic evening. Again, mark your calendar, February 15, 6 to 8 p.m. And while you've got the calendar out, we definitely need to talk about our special coming up for the month of March as well, and that is the Days of Noah. Days of Noah is a mini-series. It's a documentary. There's some animation elements to it. It's very visually interesting, and the content is also excellent, powerful, deep, meaningful, worth it for you to watch. And this is going to be happening starting with part 1 on March 6th at 7 p.m. and then continuing each Saturday evening in the month of March at 7 p.m. 4-part series. So this is looking through the lens of prophecies about the last days by looking back at the story of what happened in the time of Noah. So again, you don't want to miss it. You want to share this information with others who can tune in and watch the Days of Noah during March. Now, I know it's still barely January as we're talking about this, but it's not too early to start planning for that coming up, especially when you want other people to tune in and watch it with you. Also, just a bit of an update about high definition, which is all related to our move to the new facility too. You know, we moved that dish over there and it was windy. We couldn't put it up. Well, now the dish is up, and not just that, but the most recent news is now we have the dish properly aligned so that we can receive our network, the Hope Channel, with it in high definition. We have a few other elements with the equipment that have to be hooked up first before we can actually give you the high definition on the air. It seems like there's an endless number of details. I'm sure it's not endless, however, that we need to cover and take care of before we switch over to high definition, but it is coming very soon, as was promised by our technical team at a board meeting we had last night for Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association. So exciting things coming, continuing to work on all the details at the new facility too, and looking for your gifts specifically for our move to the new facility. We're going to be making some renovations, and in order to do that, we need to have more funds come in for this project. So thank you for those. Thank you for what you've already done, because all the good things that I'm reporting to you are because you have supported Blue Mountain Television. It's your gifts, it's your prayers, and it's your ministry. So thank you again for what you're doing, and thank you for watching the This Week show, and thank you for watching Blue Mountain Television. I look forward to seeing you next time.